Hey, welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about five simple tips for beginners. So in weight loss. Beginners in what? Surfing. No, 5 simple tips if you are just starting or restarting your weight loss journey. And I know a lot about restarting because I was a weight loss failure for like a decade. Like I was the chick who was constantly diet hopping, and every month I had either quit and I'm like, I'm just big bone, it's how I'm gonna be, or I was like on to the next new shiny object diet. And so anyway, I know a lot about starting over, and it wasn't until 6 years ago where I actually succeeded, lost that 161 pounds, went from a busting out of a size 22 down to a size 2, and have maintained that for all these years. And so these 5 tips are ones that I have used in my own weight loss journey, starting over or just starting in general. And they're ones that I often instruct my clients who are like, Carmen, where do I start? And so first thing, before we jump into the 5 things, is realizing that weight loss success is made up of the little steps and the little decisions. So often people think, oh my gosh, to lose weight, I only have to drink shakes, or I can only eat salad, or I must have to suck on lemons all day and I can never have pizza again. Like we automatically think extreme, especially if you come from where I came from and you have a lot of weight to lose. Sometimes we can think extreme and we can think, oh, I gotta do all this to lose weight. And the truth is, it's just a sum of all your decisions. Your success is a sum of all your decisions, and it's all the little decisions combined that make the big decision. And so all these 5 things we're going to talk about here in just a moment are little. They're applicable. They're simple things that you can apply today, that are tomorrow, this week, that are going to make a huge difference in working towards whatever your health goal is. And so let's go ahead and dive right in. We are going to start with one of the simplest ones. And here's what I will say. A lot of times, like when I'm coaching clients or just talking to people about weight loss, and I bring something up, they'll say, oh, I know that. Oh, I know that. So let me just first and foremost say, and I have to remind myself of this often. How do you know if you know something or you've heard something? Because so many times we've heard something, but there's a difference between hearing something and knowing something. Like knowing it means you are living it. Your life is proof of it. That's how you know if you know something, right? Like your life, somebody could look at your life and be like, wow. Like they could see proof of that in your life. You are doing it. That's how you know something. Hearing something is you're not doing it, but you've heard it, right? So there's a difference between I've heard that and I know that. Does that make sense? And I have to tell myself this a lot because, I like to learn from experts. Parenting, finances, marriage, weight loss, like fitness, all those things. That's the only way to get better, is by learning from people who have a stack in what you want. And a lot of times, in order to learn from the expert, I have to be able to distinguish because when you say, I know that, it automatically closes you off to learning anything from that person. And so many times we end up sizing ourselves up to somebody who maybe has a bigger stack than us in a certain area. Just because somebody has a bigger stack doesn't make them better. It just means that maybe they've failed some more. They have some more experience. They've been doing it a little bit longer, or maybe it was one of their God-given gifts and they succeeded quicker at it. We all have different giftings in different areas. And so anyway, I just felt like I needed to say that because if you're anything like me and you're hard-headed at all, a little bit maybe, then, you might have maybe said one time, I know that, when maybe you've just heard it. I've certainly been guilty of it a lot. I really try not to do it now, especially with my kids, because I don't want them to be like, Mom, I know. Okay. We have 3 of them. If you're a mom or a dad, then you certainly know, I know. Can come out of their mouth sometimes. So number 1, drinking your water. Again, these are 5 tips for weight loss beginners, or if you're recommitting, restarting, you're beginning again on your weight loss journey. Water. Water is so hugely important. Drink your freaking water. And so no, your coffee does not count as water. Anytime you're changing the composition of the water, your body doesn't process it the same, all right? And so just to give you guys a simple analogy of how much water you should be drinking if you're not sure, it's half of your body in ounces of water per day. So to make things easy, if you weigh 100 pounds, that's 50 fluid ounces of water every single day. Now, when I tell people this, so if you weigh 200 pounds, it'd be 100 fluid ounces of water every day. And inevitably, whenever I say this, I'll have people say, well, aren't I gonna be peeing a lot? Yes, that's the freaking point. Yes, you're gonna be peeing a lot. You are like flushing out all the crap that we put into our bodies. You're flushing out toxins. You're flushing out like everything, all the waste your body doesn't need. It's also helping your body stay hydrated. Your brain does not know the difference between hungry and dehydrated. All right. And so often we mistake dehydration we mistake dehydration as hunger. I got it right. And so we eat thinking we're hungry, and really we are just freaking dehydrated. And we live in a world where, we have so many different options to drink. We have soda, we have lemonade, we have coffee, we have tea, we have blah, 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 kombucha, we got, juice, whatever. We have so many different options. And the truth is, most people do not drink enough water. Most people walk around dehydrated and constantly mistaking that with hunger. And so when I feel like I'm hungry and I know that I've eaten enough food, one of the first things I do is drink water. Dehydration can also cause constipation. It can keep the scale from moving. It can cause you to plateau. And so drink your water. Today they have apps that will remind you to drink your water. I just kind of do it the old fashioned way. Like I have 33-ounce water bottles, and I fill them up in the refrigerator the night before or the day before, and they're just in there. And I go through all those. I drink 160 fluid ounces of water every day, which is way more than I'm supposed to. But I've kind of built up to that over the years. In the beginning, I did not start there. And even when I see I'm behind on my water, I'll set a 2-minute timer sometimes, and I'll be like, all right, dang it. Sometimes I'll get to 11 o'clock in the morning if I've had a busy morning. I'm like, frick, I haven't drank any water. So I'll set the timer on my phone into 2 minutes, and I'll have to chug the water in the 2 minutes. And it's so hilarious because my kids will do it now because they've watched me do it. So my 7-year-old son will be like, Mom, I haven't drank any water. He'll be like, set the timer. I'm like, awesome. Just proof that goes to show you they don't do what we say. They do what we do. They're always watching. And so anyway, water. That is number one. Number two, don't eat in front of your screen. All right. This is a huge mistake that most of us with a weight issue, we do. We eat in front of the TV. We eat in front of the computer. Now we eat in front of the phone. We eat in front of the tablet. And so I'm going to say, as a weight loss, again, this is something simple you can just stop doing. Stop eating when you're watching TV. That is a horrible habit that we have got into. Why? Because we sit back, we're being entertained, and let's get something to munch on. This was a horrible habit that I had as a former morbidly obese person. When I stopped doing it, it felt so weird. And I can even remember going to the movies the first couple times and not buying when I was losing weight. Look, if you're at your goal weight and you're just maintaining, knock yourself out if you want to get a large popcorn at the theater. But if you are trying to get focused and you're trying to lose weight, stop it. How long do you want to torture yourself? And these were things I had to tell myself, Carmen, freaking stop shoving the food in your pie hole. You can watch TV without filling your pie hole. You can go to the movies without getting a large popcorn and butter. Did I want it? Yes. Did I need it? Heavens no. And so stop eating in front of screens. You're going to find that you naturally consume less calories. Also, don't eat when you're on the phone. That would go you're kind of in front of a screen, even though you're not watching it. Don't eat when you're on the phone. I would find myself when I started losing weight and I started paying attention to what I was eating, I would be on the phone and just meandering through the kitchen. Is that a word? Is it meandering? Meandering. That's the word. You know, you ever say something, you're like, wait, that doesn't sound right. Anyway, you would be, you know, moseying around the kitchen. I would be moseying around the kitchen, and all of a sudden I would like find myself just randomly snacking on whatever. I wasn't even hungry. Like, I didn't even make it just like a conscious decision to go to the kitchen and grab something. Here I just was in the kitchen grazing on stuff. And so, you know, don't mindlessly eat. All right. Number 3, before you go shopping, make a list. Make a grocery shopping list and only buy what is on the list. Most of our junk food purchases are emotional purchases. They're not rational. They're not logical. Like, none of us go to the store typically if you're trying to lose weight. Let me say that. Because when I was morbidly obese, I clearly logically bought all kinds of crap. I emotionally bought stuff too, but I logically did as well. I didn't realize how bad or what I didn't know about nutrition. But make a list. Make a list when you're like, okay, what can I eat this week that's going to help me get to my goal? Make that list, and then when you go shopping, only buy what's on it. Don't allow yourself in. So, okay. I did this. When I told you guys all these things I did. And I can remember going in the store one time and I was like, F it. I was just having a bad week, a bad day. And I had one of those moments where I'm like, screw it. Like, I want cookies. I want ice cream. I want chips. And I bought like chips. I bought oatmeal cream pies. I bought cookies, and I bought some kind of like, you know, something from like the pastry section at the deli. And I'm walking out of the grocery store by my house, and I was like, Carmen, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This wasn't on your list. You didn't plan this. Like, what the frick? And I was going to go home, open it all, and have a little bit of everything. And so, like, I saw a dad walking out with like 3 kids, and I just walked over and I was like, hey, I just bought this and it wasn't on my list, and I'm trying to lose weight. It's unopened. Here you go. And I handed him the bag, and I just turned around and like beeline for my car. The guy probably thought I was psycho, but that's okay. Yes, I wasted money, but that's okay. I didn't eat it. Thank the Lord. And it taught me a valuable lesson, right? Like 30 minutes later, I was already having second thoughts about the food that I didn't eat. But there were plenty of times before that where I didn't do that and I fully went home and ate it all. But in that moment, I had some willpower after I bought it. But, you know, it is what it is. And so baby steps. If you are trying to do any of these things and you're not perfect, that's okay. Give yourself some grace and freaking just keep trying. The only way you're going to fail is if you quit. Period, end of story. Like, I am living proof of that. I was a weight loss failure for a decade. And eventually, after keep going, yes, I quit short term sometimes, but I always started back again. I wound up losing that 160 pounds. I wound up going from a size 22 to a size 2. I am able to shop in any store in the mall today, but that certainly wasn't the case just 6 years ago. Number 4, stop eating after 6 o'clock at night. 98% of all my clients, their biggest hurdle is nighttime snacking. 98% of my clients have or currently struggle with nighttime snacking. And I have talked to thousands and thousands of people, all right? I've worked with people from around the world, all different walks of life, men and women from the age of 15 all the way up to my oldest client was 81 years old. And so the number one thing when it comes to eating is nighttime snacking, right before you go to bed. And instead of your metabolism being able to break down the fat that's in your body so you lose weight, now your metabolism ends up breaking down all that food that you ate. And so often, and I was one of those people, so I get it. If you're like, oh my gosh, Carmen, that's totally me. Me too. I can put both hands and both feet up. Me too. Like, I would be good all day long, and then all of a sudden, this broad would come in, this broad with no self-control, like a ravenous person would come and inhabit my body, and I would find myself in front of the fridge, in front of the freezer, just mindlessly shoving stuff into my mouth. And then I would be like, oh my gosh, what the frick? Like, and it always inevitably was followed by guilt. because I wasn't proud that I did something I said I wasn't going to do. I wasn't proud that I broke my word again. I wasn't proud that, I now was full and the scale was probably going to go up. I didn't feel great that I was good all day. And then bam, at 9:30 at night, I just went and ate crap. And so the same thing with my husband. My husband eats really good from 8 in the morning till 9 at night. And then 9 o'clock at night, when he comes up from his office in the basement, he goes, it's a habit. He goes right to the fridge, right to the freezer to get a snack or fourth meal or whatever it is that he gets. And the season that my husband stopped doing that, now he was working out and eating clean as well, but my husband had been working out and eating semi-clean for years. He didn't have a six-pack. When he stopped eating at night, that's where most of his off-track gets. He's good during the day. He follows my food plan during the day. Why? Because I cook it and serve it to him. But at night, not so much. But he got a six-pack. He went from a small gut to a six-pack in 80 days. 80 freaking days! And the number one thing he changed during that 80-day period is he wasn't eating at all in the evening. So when I was losing weight for those 13 months, I capped it at 6 o'clock. I stopped eating at 6 p.m., period. I would make an exception once in a while if we were going on a date night or it was pre-planned. I would make an exception. But 90% of the time, 6 o'clock, I was done eating by 6 o'clock. So, and last but not least, all right, if you are just starting off in weight loss, if you are a beginner, or again, if you're recommitting, for the next 30 days, I want you to pick one junk food, not a food group, one junk food, and eliminate it. So whether that is the drive-through, whether it's whether you have a problem with Taco Bell, like I do, you can eliminate Taco Bell. You can eliminate, if you're a Starbucks person in the morning, eliminate Starbucks, eliminate ice cream, whatever it is that you're dang it, this is my vice when it comes to food. Maybe it's pizza. Maybe it's potato chips. Maybe it is donuts. My best girlfriend loves donuts. Maybe it is whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, eliminate one thing. Again, not a whole food group, but eliminate one thing for 30 days. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. If you cheat, and I'm using the word cheat because if you say, I'm going to eliminate soda, I love Diet Pepsi, or I love Pepsi, and I love Dr. Pepper, and you say, for the next 30 days, I'm not going to drink Dr. Pepper. And on day 3, you drink it, you've got to start over. Because if you already break on day 3, you're never going to make it to 30 days. You've already broken the promise to yourself. So anytime if you set up for 30 days and then you fail on that 30 days, you now got to, you should, if you want to succeed, you got to start freaking back over. And it's okay if you're okay, I'm not going to do Dr. Pepper this time. I'm going to change it to, ice cream. I'm not going to have ice cream, whatever it is. It doesn't matter how many times you change it, but give up something for 30 days. And first and foremost, anytime you can give something up for 30 days, within a 30-day time period, you're going to have broken the habit of eating it, of wanting it. Also proving to yourself that you can do it. And a large portion of weight loss is psychological. A large, huge mountain ton of weight loss is in your head. And so proving to yourself, and we're already combating the doubt. Can I do it? Should I do it? Will I do it? Will it work for me? I failed so many times before. Why is this time any different? We have all these voices talking to us. So you succeeding at giving something up for 30 days is going to build your confidence. It's going to build your momentum. It's going to basically encourage the fact that yes, you freaking can. Even though I can tell you, yes, you can. Somebody else can tell you, yes, you can. Until you believe that you can, it doesn't matter who tells you that you can. You've got to believe that you can. So eliminate one thing, one junk food for the next 30 days. And then maybe once you do that, then go on to another one. Okay, I did that. Now I'm going to do this. And so anyway, those are the 5 tips if you are a beginner or restarting at weight loss. And so if you have not hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. We upload every single week free weight loss, diet, fitness tips, and we are live here on the channel every single Tuesday. And make sure to ring the bell so that way you get notified when we are live here on the channel and you don't miss any of our tips. So thank you so much for watching. We will see you on the next one.